Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very interesting episode here for the Bulletcast. Today, I'm going to be doing I guess I'm going to call it wrestler analysis. So what this is basically going to be, I will just analyze a wrestler from the past or current day. I'll analyze their career, how I feel like they're doing so far in the current state of either WWE, Ring of Honor, Global Force Wrestling, TNA, whatever you want to call that, New Japan, and some guys on the indies. And of course, if they no longer compete in the squared circle, then I will analyze the career they had, some of their best moments, some things that I felt like shouldn't have happened to them at their lowest of lows. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to start off with this guy for wrestling analysis, the first ever. You boys knew it was coming. The big dog, Roman Reigns. I mean, guys, it's like Roman Reigns said.
This is my yard now.
It is his yard. We have to accept that. Mainly, I decided to do Roman first just because of all of this. Still, the continuous boo and the Roman bashing. Like it's gotten very old. Like the what chants become very annoying. CM Punk, I love him to death, but the CM Punk chants got annoying, and this whole Roman bashing thing has gotten very annoying. If you saw the first episode of Shooting the Breeze and then the latest episode of the Bulletcast, episode 29, go check that out, please. I talked about this. Braun Strowman put over Roman. He said, all these people, they'll say all this stuff behind a keyboard, but they won't go face to face with them. They won't even step in the ring with them. I mean, that's another thing about wrestling fans. They'll say all this stuff about a wrestler, but then if they find out the wrestler's gonna be in their town for a meet and greet, they'll go bat their eyes at him, like, "Oh my God, will you sign this? Will you sign this? I love this you did. I love your work. Yada yada yada." And they don't really mean it. It's gotten really annoying. Roman Reigns, I mean, when he was in the Shield, he was loved. He didn't talk much. He just went out there and kicked ass. And then when Vince decided to push him and become the new Golden Boy, that's when the bashing started. I mean, I saw it early on when he was the lone survivor for his team at the Survivor Series. I believe it was 2014. He pins Rey Mysterio, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the next guy. I see where they're going. Then fast forward a couple months later, the Royal Rumble 2015, he's getting booed out of Philly. The Rock got booed. People were so upset with Roman. Rey Mysterio got booed. It's crazy. But this whole Roman, like, we hate Roman thing, like, I mean, you guys are entitled to your opinions. I understand that. I really do. But I swear to God, if Vince ever decides to pull the trigger on a Roman Reigns heel turn, and all you people that just start cheering and cheering and cheering, that's one of the things that pisses me off about wrestling fans. They so desperately want something, and then once they get it, they're gonna be done with it. They're gonna be, all right, cool, we got it. Like like Dean Ambrose when he won the WWE title, perfect example. He was hot. He got a nice reaction, got a nice pop when he cashed in on Rollins. But then give it 2 months later, the people, they didn't care. They were like, oh yeah, hey, the dude's a champ. That's awesome. That's nice. I mean, it's just a whole thing with wrestling fans. But look, I mean, Roman Reigns, he's always gonna have a secure spot, not just because he can work. One of the hardest working guys in the locker room. I mean, he's the locker room leader over on Monday nights, I hear. But mainly because I mean, he's a part of the Samoan heritage, the dynasty, the bloodline, the Anoa'i Samoan wrestling family. I mean, a few of them, I hear they live up the street from where I record. It's just a whole thing. But look, I mean, if I really want to analyze the career of Roman Reigns, he goes into NXT. he looks like a first round draft pick. Starts wearing suits, kind of like a Ric Flair, Nick Bockwinkel, a Jace type of character. He says things are going to get better now that Roman Reigns, and if you're not watching the video, I just signed Reigns in the air, then did like a little swoosh with my hand. That was his character. I enjoyed it. I liked it. And then, of course, Vince puts together the Shield, and they just Survivor Series 2012. They just start dominating. I mean, they go on this amazing run. Ambrose wins the United States Championship. Reigns and Rollins go on to win the WWE Tag Team titles, and they go on this nice run. Rollins and Reigns, they had a nice feud. The Shield had a nice feud with the Blood Brothers, the Brotherhood, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, when one of Dusty's really last great moments before his passing. 2013, Cody and Goldust, they got the titles thanks to the help from the Big Show. I mean, that was a great feud. But then after that, you could see the Hounds of Justice really starting to go into a face role once they wanted to kind of step away from the Authority. That led to them kind of helping out Daniel Bryan. It led to them going up against Corporate Kane and the New Age Outlaws, which was at WrestleMania 30. What are you gonna do? But it led to Evolution versus the Shield, which in my opinion, so great, so awesome. And go back and watch, was that Payback 2014 and Extreme Rules 2014? Go back and watch those two pay-per-views and watch those matches specifically. I mean, Roman was so over. We're talking like Steve Austin, the glass breaks, and he's running down to hauling ass down to the ring, stomping a mud hole in a couple guys, and helping Mankind win his first WWE title, January 4th, 1999. I mean, Roman was so over. I'm just like, where did this really go wrong? I mean, they say he's going to be the next John Cena. I mean, John, was he shoved down our throats? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it seemed like throughout my childhood, every time I would hear, "Here is your winner and new WWE champion," but I look at it like this. Roman Reigns, like, has he gotten the Cena treatment? Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Cena. Was that ECW One Night Stand? Was that 2006? Went up against RVD. The ECW fans said if Cena wins, we ride. I mean, it was crazy. If Cena would have won, trash would have been thrown in the ring, by the way. But my point is with that, I look at where John's at now. When his music hits, do they still say, "John Cena sucks"? Yes, but that's the equivalent of Kurt Angle's "You suck." It's like, it's a show of admiration. Like, hey, we're glad to see this guy, because whenever Cena's music hits, I mean, he still gets a major babyface pop. I mean, so I feel like that could be the road that Roman goes down in a few years. And of course, but if they turn him heel, fans, they're gonna cheer it. They're gonna love it. Like, finally, finally, finally. I mean, we're in such a different time in the world of professional wrestling where fans really do activate how the office can think. I mean, Daniel Bryan wasn't going anywhere. And then the fans, they were like, "We want Bryan, we want Bryan." And it led to him winning in the main event of WrestleMania 30. So, I mean, we are in a different state when it comes to the world of professional wrestling and fandom as a whole. I mean, faces are getting booed, heels are getting cheered. And don't get me wrong, I love heels. Razor Ramon, the bad guy. Love him. But, it's really weird. It's really odd. It's an odd time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, look at guys like AJ Styles, Shinsuke, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, those guys in the WWE right now. It's amazing what Bullet Club's doing over in Japan and just selling merch like nobody's business. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Bucks, Kenny, Hangman Page, Marty, Cody. Shout out to all you guys. Gorillas of Destiny, Bad Luck Fale, all you guys. But when it comes down to Roman Reigns, I feel as though he's not the problem. And then here's another thing. People complain about him keeping the Shield music, him still walking out to this. And him also still wearing the vest. Honestly, Roman wearing the vest is good for him. I can't really see him in anything else. I mean, he likes his look. Vince likes his look. I mean, because like without the vest, Roman he looks smaller. The vest makes him look bigger than he actually is. That's a good thing. It makes him. Plus, it's badass. It's badass ring gear. I like it. I really do. Um, I don't know, like Ambrose, like he was unhinged, so he went off and did the lunatic thing. Seth Rollins, he was it healing, so he went off and did that thing with the Authority. What was Roman gonna do? I mean, I don't know how you really could have repackaged Roman Reigns. If you do know how you could have repackaged Roman Reigns, please tweet at BulletCast. Whenever you listen to this, tweet us. Let me know. How do you repackage Roman Reigns? That's something I'd be interested in learning about. Um. But just the whole thing, and another thing, like people complain about the Superman punch and all that, him jerking off his wrist or anything. I mean, Roman Reigns doing the Superman punch in pro wrestling, I had never seen it before. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. And like he's catching dudes with it when they're flying through the air. He just pops up out of nowhere and hits it. I don't see why you're complaining. Great Khali, he used to chop people on the head, and he won some matches off of that. I mean, come on, it's not that bad of a move. I mean, he's calmed down. He doesn't throw like 8 of them in one match anymore. He's calmed down a lot with it. It's fine. Roman Reigns, he's gonna be all right. I mean, look at his program with AJ Styles. This is a perfect example. AJ Styles, the veteran, an 18-year veteran of high octane offensive innovation. He was just hot in Japan, coming from the Bullet Club IWGP Heavyweight Champ, and he walks into WWE, has his thing with Jericho, and then he moves on to Roman. Still, in my opinion, the 2 best matches of Roman Reigns' career. And that one at Money in the Bank 2016 with Seth Rollins was unbelievable. But these 2 matches, Payback and Extreme Rules, these 2 matches, Roman can go. Roman Reigns can go. He is one of the best workers in the world, whether people want to admit it or not. I mean, I look at Roman Reigns as, because I mean, I wasn't a guy that said, "Oh, he can't wrestle." My whole thing with Roman, I was ashamed that this guy was getting pushed down our throats that hard, like really way too soon. But those matches with AJ, they just told a great story. It was the big dog, the guy who didn't need to wrestle on the indies. And he's holding the gold. He's the world heavyweight champion. And then you have a guy who has been making his way around the world for almost 20 years. Spent over 10 years in a promotion, TNA, and really put them on the map. And then goes off to Japan for 2 years, just kicks ass. I mean, really elevates his game. That late on in his life, like 36, 37, just really going toe to toe with some of the best workers in the world, and then comes on to WWE and people say AJ carried Roman. I don't think so. I went back and watched those matches. Like, it was pretty equal. It was just 2 guys going out there, just wrestling their asses off, telling a great story. I enjoyed it. I mean, it got personal when Gallows and Anderson joined AJ, club. Too sweet to the Good Brothers, and then the Usos, who people thought were boring, and I think I'll do a wrestling analysis about them next. They thought they were boring, but they joined the Bloodline, and I really wish we could have got like a really good 6-man tag out of Gallows, Anderson, and Styles versus Roman and the Usos, like a real just brawl, elimination style. It didn't even have to be elimination. One fall would have did the job. Just a real brawl. Just those 6 guys going at it. But back to the whole AJ Roman thing. I mean, guys told great stories, and then it's set up for Roman to, of course, move on to his program with Seth Rollins, and then after that program, Roman, he does get suspended. He had a violation of the health and wellness policy, and that goes to show you that nobody's invincible in that company. Not even Vince's golden boy. That was an interesting time in wrestling. I mean, it made for a great storyline. Seth kept saying he was a cheater and abuser of substances. It was great storytelling. But Roman comes back from that, and then there was something different about him when he walked out for that triple threat with Ambrose and Rollins. You could just see something different about Roman Reigns. I mean, he even started like telling the people who are booing him, he'd just like stop his promo and be like, "Hey, you guys, keep sipping your beers, yada yada yada." And then, I mean, I've heard interviews of Roman Reigns, like, how does he react to the reaction he gets every time he comes out there? Because, I mean, Roman, he gets the, yeah, boo. And it's not just women and children. I've seen grown men cheer this guy. I mean, if you've been Roman day one-ish, day one is H, if you've been down with Roman since the beginning, hey, man, all the power to you. You're not afraid to admit it. And then, of course, there were those guys who were dressed like Roman at the events, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, Roman, he had a different, I don't like to say swagger, I'll say machismo. He just had a different machismo, different vibe about him. And you could tell like he started to feel more comfortable after that, and going into everything that happened later on in 2016 with his program with like Jericho and KO and Seth being in there, all that stuff that happened. His program with Rusev, of course. Roman winning the U.S. title, which I feel like maybe a secondary title should have been first before the WWE title. Of course, he was a tag team champion first, but that's besides the point. He does that, and then we get into 2017, and he and Braun, they start going. He and Braun, they have a great first bout at Fastlane. I really enjoyed it. Braun really showing me he can go. Then they hold off on that because go back to January. Roman, he eliminates Taker out of the Rumble, so I'm like, oh yeah, that's where we're going. And then you get to WrestleMania 33, and it was a sad time, of course, but people, they still criticize the not being able to lift each other, like for last rides and a tombstone. The botches really did add to the story, because it's like, oh my God, Taker, he's old, he can't do this like he used to, can't perform to the best of his ability anymore, can't do this forever. And go online. There's a photo of Roman Reigns after that match. Like, he's backstage in Gorillas, sitting down just crying because he had to, unfortunately, end the career of the greatest character in the history of this business. So Roman was given the duty of that. Sad times for Taker retiring. But then Roman continues his feud with Strowman, and they have told such an amazing story. I mean, these guys can fight forever, and I don't think I'd get tired of it. Because it just they just keep adding different elements. I mean, ambulance matches, Roman trying to commit vehicular manslaughter on Strowman, Strowman stumbling out with blood all over him. Earlier before that, Roman injures him, takes him out. I mean, what else? All the last man standing match they just had. I mean, these guys, they can just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. I mean, end it in a cage or a cell, or here's a wild idea, just throw him in a ladder match. I don't know. Just that'd be interesting to see. But Roman Reigns, he's really come so far since his debut with the Shield. He's really come full circle, I believe. Because I mean, go back to the promo after WrestleMania 33. This is all he said.
This is my yard now.
He just said 5 words, stood there for like 10 minutes, getting booed. People saying, F you, Roman, get the F out, we hate you, yada, 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 all that stuff. It really just, I could see, like, he didn't have to say suffering succotash anymore. He could really be himself. And if you go back and watch that promo, he's like, I got him in the palm of my hand. He was pointing to his palm and mouthing those words. So it was really interesting to see Roman really coming into his own. I mean, Roman Reigns, former United States champion, former WWE Tag Team champion, 3-time WWE World Heavyweight champion. I mean, this is just the beginning for Roman Reigns. At the time of this recording, I am just 2 days out from SummerSlam 2017. Roman Reigns could he become the Universal Champion? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to all watch and see. Personally, in my opinion, I'm going to go with the Beast Incarnate. I'm going to go with the guy. Yeezer. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this wrestling analysis. The first one, I chose the big dog. I chose Roman Reigns because, well, yeah, controversial topic nonetheless. Guys, tweet at BulletCast if you want just any wrestler you want me to talk about next, and I can have somebody come in the studio with me and chop it up, shooting the breeze. It could be on one of those, you don't know. I'll have somebody come on and we'll discuss whatever wrestler you want us to speak about. Instagram is the BulletCast. Facebook BulletCast. If you want to email us, if you're old school like that, hey man, all power to you. The email is bulletcast2 as in the number 2, sweet SWEET at gmail.com. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher. We're all over the place. Please come on down, and I'm working on getting us an online store so you guys can get some merch, so I don't have to walk around wearing Goldberg shirts all day. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this. I'm just trying to give you guys more content. For this one, I will put it on the SoundCloud and also on those other sites I just mentioned, but the video portion, if you want to see the video, I'm going to throw that on the YouTube channel. And guys, also, Bulletcast, we're going to be going on the road pretty soon. I just got the equipment to get it done, so look, if you see us at an indie event, come up, say hi, please. Hey, you might even be on the pod. You never know what's going to happen. But thank you guys so much for all your support. It means the world to me. This is a project I embarked on 6 months ago. Next week I'm about to hit 30 episodes. For 30 straight weeks I've been hustling, hitting the grind. Hashtag no days off. That's my whole thing about it. And of course there's no proper way to end this without saying this.
And thanks for being the elite, the elite. Break it down, the elite, the elite. Break it down. Block it out, block it out.
See you guys next time. Thank you again so much.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.